Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Topchian, and welcome to Holistic Connections Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. And today we have Shelby. So, if you could introduce yourself and share about what you do in the holistic healing world.
Yeah, of course. First, I want to say thank you, Pamela, for inviting me on today. I'm super excited to share with you
Absolutely.
and your audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You.
I am a certified holistic health coach. I got my certification about 2 years ago, and I don't currently take on one on one clients. However, I am an author, and my purpose and what I love to do is help educate others in the holistic health space. I do like to focus on herbal medicine as well as spirituality.
Nice. Very nice. So, how did you first become interested in taking the course and becoming a holistic health coach?
It was quite a long journey. I
Okay.
actually, from a young age, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And
Nice.
so, yeah, I worked as a vet tech, and I was blessed to work with a veterinarian who actually did practice traditional Chinese medicine in the vet world, which that's how I first found out about Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Yeah, it was incredible to see the effects that it would have on the animals. And as I got a little bit older, I actually started experiencing my own physical health issues. I had constant, like severe abdominal pain. I had diarrhea all the time. I would vomit. I would lose a ton of weight. I just couldn't keep any food in me. And
Mm.
for a really long time, I went undiagnosed. We tried different medications, different
Yeah.
diets, the whole array of things, everything that we could
Yeah.
do, and just nothing was working. And I mean, I was on steroids, on immunosuppressants, on antibiotics all the time.
Yeah.
I started getting sick when I was 15,
Mm.
and then it just progressively got worse over the years. When I was 18, I was finally diagnosed with celiac disease. Um,
Mm.
so, for those that don't know, it's not just a regular gluten allergy, it's an immune disease where your body attacks itself if you ingest gluten.
Mm.
Um, so, I was so excited to find the source of
Mhm.
everything going on. Um,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, after I still cut out gluten and changed my diet, I was still having severe regression, and my symptoms actually advanced to where I was fully incontinent. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And for a young adult female, it was so hard to be like, I couldn't go out with my friends.
Yeah.
I would try and be in the dating world, and it just wasn't fun.
Yeah.
You really start to isolate, and with that comes a lot of anxiety and
Yeah.
depression.
It affected all areas of your life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, I already came from I have a loving household I came from, but, my
Nice.
mother did suffer from addiction, and that was
Mhm.
kind of all throughout my childhood, which really did affect me emotionally, of
Yeah.
course. Um, and so I really truly felt like I held on to those emotions, and later on, it came out that it did manifest physically,
Yeah.
throughout my body, which is why I was suffering so badly with these autoimmune diseases, because after the celiac disease, then I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and then it progressed to Crohn's disease.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
There's
was
so much. Yeah.
yeah, it was a wild ride. And I mean, at
Mhm.
that time when it did progress, I was then getting into being about like 19 to 20 years old, and really starting to feel like, okay, these doctors aren't listening to me. I'm
Yeah.
not being heard. They're dismissing me. They don't want to hear anything I have to say.
Yeah.
If I would ask them questions, it was kind of blatant that they didn't care about fully
Mm.
answering, what is going on with my body. And me being the person I am, I wanted to understand the science behind the medications they wanted
Yeah.
to give me, and just all of the things. Like I said, unfortunately, the medical system is a little astray with that.
Yeah.
So I went looking for other options,
Well, good
and
for you. Yeah, you have to be your own advocate when you're going through a healing journey and you have things that are not being helped through the more typical medical means and that you have to keep searching and it takes diligence and patience for sure to finally get the help that you need. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely. No, you're good. And, of course, like, even for a 19-year-old girl, it was so hard for me to I'm kind of shy. I'm not very outspoken. I let people say what they wanna say, and I'm just kinda there sometimes. So, it was really hard for me to find that voice, but
Yeah,
my passion now is letting others know like you have this innate wisdom locked
yeah,
inside of you and you can find it, you can reach it at any point in your life and pull it out and use it. Your intuition is guiding you from the moment that you're placed
yeah,
here all the way until the end. And it's here for us to make sure that I felt alone. I had nobody on my
yeah.
side. Even my parents are looking at me like you're crazy. Why
Mm,
trying all these different routes when they're telling you this, this, and this. They wanted me to get a colostomy bag. They wanted to
right.
resect a portion of my bowels, and
Mm,
I was like, "No, this cannot be the way."
yeah.
Um, Especially because they had me on a form of low dose chemotherapy,
Mm,
and
wow.
yeah, with that, of course, my intestines were already kind of failing because of the disease, but at the age of 22, I started going into the early stages of liver failure and
Mm.
kidney failure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, you have really been through it.
mhm, mhm. But I'm so, so grateful for that
Yeah,
journey because
right.
it just brought me to who I am now
Yeah,
and what I wanna be able to do with my life. And without that, I really feel like I would be lost and not know what life was meant for. But, I put a stop on them kind of just feeding me the medications and telling me
mhm,
this. And I was able to sit back and connect to myself and follow what I knew needed to be done. And that
yeah,
was healing. That was healing from the inside out.
yeah.
And it really started with completely stopping the pharmaceuticals as soon as I could. And you have to do that with caution, of course, with
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you just stopped sort of cold turkey and then started up different holistic modalities or treatments or methods, or integrated it first and then saw that these other things were helping you and you let those go, sort of weaning in and out. So how was that for you?
Yeah, so that's a good question. At that point in time, I had already tried to wean myself off of the pharmaceuticals a couple
Mm-hmm.
of times, and every time it failed, I my
Mm-hmm.
body was dependent on them to be slightly normal, just for
Yeah.
function.
Oh.
Uh, so by that time, I was like all in. It was like this is a hill I'm willing to die on, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make this work, or nothing's going to work for me at all.
Yeah.
And so I did completely stop all of the pharmaceuticals. I had already integrated some herbal remedies into my treatment plan,
Yeah.
but I kind of pulled them full throttle at
Yeah.
the front and added in some extra herbals.
Yeah.
Uh, I also changed my diet. I think diet is, of course, extremely important, but I think people sometimes don't understand the spiritual importance of it.
Yeah.
If we are loading our bodies with toxins, it makes us so heavy,
Yeah.
and, it's almost like we're, like, chaining ourselves to the ground, and we
Right.
can't fly free and figure out, what our intuition is telling us to do.
Yeah.
So, I was already on a pretty strict diet, but just making certain maneuvers. Another huge thing is removing toxins out of, not just your diet, but your home,
Yeah,
your
your world around you. Yeah.
and it's kind of intense at first when you start looking
Mhm.
into those things,
Oh, I
and
know. It gets scary. You're scared to even touch anything or breathe when
yeah,
you start reading everything. Yeah.
oh my god, absolutely. I think anybody who kinda goes down that route and
Yeah.
realizes you go through, like, maybe a week or 2 of feeling like you're insane,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you kind of balance it and figure it out. But I really do urge everyone that I know to just be so cautious of what
Yeah.
you're putting on your skin, what you're washing your body with. The clothes that you're wearing sometimes have horrible
Yeah.
chemicals in them that are on your body all day,
Yeah.
and those are huge things. They destroy your hormones. They
Yeah.
just, like from the inside out. It really affects you. So looking at the toxins in your food and in your home. Another huge thing was meditating. And
Yeah.
I used to be the girl that would be like, I'm too anxious. I can't meditate. I
So
can't.
many people say that. Yeah.
I was 100% against it. I was like, there's
Mhm.
no way. People had asked me to go to yoga, to go to like these classes. I'm like, I can't. It's not happening. And it wasn't until I forced myself to lay in a dark room and I listened to a guided meditation,
Yeah.
and it was like I came out on the other side and I was like, I get it now.
Yeah, nice.
um,
Nice. And how
but
long ago was that that you first started meditating or first started realizing you could meditate?
I think about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I do challenge people that once you've started meditating, look for further ways to deepen the practice because
Hmm.
it always goes a step deeper.
Yeah, yeah, always. I
Yeah.
think that no matter how, somebody mentioned the other day that the Dalai Lama still meditates. You know what I mean? It's not something that you ever rise above needing that in your life, that inner
Mhm.
reflection or stillness. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in this day and age, we are also programmed to just go, go, go
Yeah.
all the time. And I know it's hard for mothers and working men and students, but it is really just so important to find even 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
you don't have to do it in any other way that someone tells you. You just need to find
Right.
how to do 5 minutes in your head,
Yeah.
relaxing and letting go of some of those emotions that you're harboring onto.
I love that you said that because that's another thing that people are really stuck on. First of all, a lot of people are like, I always have stuff going on in my head. I'm so anxious. I can't do it. I can't sit still. There's no way. And they just totally resist it. Another thing that I think holds people back is feeling like, well, I don't have the right equipment. There's certain rules that they think they have to follow to be able to meditate, or there's certain equipment, whether it's a meditative seat cushion or something, they think that they need these things. They need to put money into it or have a certain way. There's a specific rules and ways you have to do it, but not at all. Yeah. So, what would you suggest to people that were like you and feel like they couldn't do it? So, how would they get started to, like you said, find different ways and different methods? But how would you suggest somebody first starting out who's never meditated? How would you suggest that they start that journey?
Well, first, I want to touch on that you did say about how people feel like they need certain equipment and
Yeah.
certain things to make the experience better. But I did all of this healing, my entire healing journey with no money. I
Yeah,
mean,
good.
I was
Glad you
working.
said that. Yeah.
I did. And I will say, be the first to say, I was working a 9 to 5 when I was sick. I could only pay my bills. And even some of my bills I was paying on my credit cards.
Yeah.
So I had no money to go out. I didn't buy yoga mats. I didn't buy
Hmm.
headphones. I didn't like, there was nothing special
Right.
to this.
Yeah. Good for
um,
you.
thank you. We do what we have to do.
Yeah.
I would say number one, I'm very in tune with nature. I love being
Mhm.
outside. So at first, the best and easiest way for me to get into it was just going to be able to go outside and shut everything off.
Yeah.
Get rid of the distractions, put the phone away, take off your Apple Watch, sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes meditating isn't about closing your eyes and having it be dark. Sometimes
Hmm.
it can be about looking around and seeing the beauty around you and
Yeah.
just thinking about everything else going on in your life. And really, I already had the practice down of going outside and looking at the birds and looking at the
Yeah.
trees and watching the clouds. And that has always brought me some type of peace.
Right.
I would say kind of instilling it in just small moments in your life.
Hmm.
And, another thing I practiced a lot was in the car. We are
Yeah.
all so on like autopilot. You get in the
Right.
car and you put your music on, and trust me, I love getting in my car and blasting my music down, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs because that's a good way of healing too. But if
Right.
you have time in the rest of your day to dedicate to meditating, then sit in silence in your car on your 20-minute commute to work and you take that time to appreciate who you are, where you're at in your life, and
Mhm.
recognizing your spirit and just
Yeah.
really sitting with that spirit and acknowledging them. And that's just the most important part about it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. So,
Yeah.
what I love is that you had to become an advocate for yourself and continue searching beyond the medical help that they were trying to give you was not really working. One thing led to another. Even you didn't even have your parents' support in trying to search further for something a little more holistic, that maybe not just with the body, like you said, but holistically, mind, body, and soul. And so it sounds like not only that, but then you've turned that around to be an advocate for everybody else, for anybody going through anything in their, not even physical health, but like you said, on a spiritual journey, people that might be anxious, might be depressed, or have other physical symptoms. You're out here helping to share your story with the world so that people know it's possible. And I think that's really important so that people know that it's possible to heal. People know that it's possible to heal within yourself as well as your physical body, but within yourself as a deeper level too, because it is all connected. And I think that's so important. And I love that you're doing that with coming on here, and I'm sure you'll be on podcasts and other YouTube channels and stuff, but with your book. So, can you talk a little bit about your book? Yeah.
I have one completed already.
Yeah.
It is an herbal guide. It does
Okay.
kind of go over the history of medicinal herbs
Mm.
as well as some culinary herbs. And then it does break down over 100 different herbs that are super accessible to us in grocery stores and little shops, even online. And
Yeah.
then covers some of the most common ailments that we experience as people and what we can use as replacements for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the work that I have out right now. I am working on a self memoir, which I know you've
Oh,
written
okay.
well.
Yep.
So that has taken time. It has taken time, and I'm kind of just letting it come when it comes, and then putting it
That's the
down.
best way. That's the best way. It took me 5 years to write and publish my first book, my memoir. Yeah. So, where can people reach you if they want more information about your books or your book coming out, and where to find what you are advocating and putting out in the world? Where's the best place for people to find
Yeah.
you?
On Etsy, my ebook will be on there under Holistic Healing Honey, and
Okay.
that is my Instagram handle as well.
Nice.
On the Instagram page, we do focus on some herbal remedies and healing, but it is geared, of course, towards mind, body, and spirit. And we're
Yeah.
looking at consciousness, we're looking at the grand awakening, and kind of doing all things in unison because that is what we are all called to do. Is to be able to balance. So I am on both of those platforms. And here shortly, we are looking at launching the Holistic Healing Honey website, where I'm
Yay.
yeah, I'm definitely super excited for that. I want to be able to provide herbal remedies, people, so that you can just get it right to your house and have
Nice.
it on stock in the cabinet for whenever you're sick, and then have everything there.
Nice, very
Yeah.
nice. So we're recording this and it won't be up on YouTube for about 3 or 4 weeks. So I will watch for that website. And when the website is launched, then I will put it in the description below, whether it's, before this comes out or whether it's after. I'll watch that. Your Instagram is really interesting. I really love it. It's different than
Thank
a lot of the others, and it's really cool. So go check out her Instagram.
thank you.
So is there anything else that you want to make sure that people know, or anything else that you want to share before we get going?
I think the biggest thing that I want to be the takeaway is the viewers understanding that you have this primal person inside of you,
Yeah.
is a guidance system for you. And no matter what, if you feel alone, if you don't have your family support, if you don't have your friend support, if you can't even find people online to support you, all you need is that one person, which is yourself. And they will give you everything you need if you let them and if you nurture them. So always take care of yourself from the inside out, and everything else that you want in life will work its way out. for the betterment of yourself. So just keep doing what you know you need to do, and follow that journey for yourself.
I love that.
Thank
Great
you.
message. Great message.
Awesome.
I'm sure that the listeners have learned something today. So awesome what you're doing. I love that you're putting this out in the world, helping to educate all. It just goes to show that anybody in the holistic healing world does not need to be taking clients
Mhm.
to do good in the world,
Yeah,
to be able to help the world holistically. You don't have to do that one-on-one with each person, but you can do it on a larger level. So
so
just that's another thing I think that it's important for holistic practitioners or anybody that's thinking about going into any kind of holistic modality as a practitioner to know that you don't have to have a business or practice with people, that there's a lot more you can do to advocate for people's holistic health and for holistic health in general. So thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Of course, thank you for having me, Pamela.